Hi guys, Keto for Real Life People, and today we are going to be making some peanut butter cookies and some fat bombs, but it is a special recipe, y'all. I just kind of got everything scattered around, but I will tell you, let's talk ingredients. It's been a little bit, I say let's talk ingredients. No, let's talk for just a second. So it's been a little bit since I've done a new recipe. Today I'm doing two. And both recipes call for a special ingredient. So I wanted to let you know that I have started using Keto Chow meal replacement shakes. They've been great. I drink them in the morning. I replace my morning meal and I move along. But I have also had this for dinner because I mix the stuff up and I put it in my ice cream maker, and instead of having dinner, I'll have dessert. So it's delicious. I have found that this is my absolute favorite flavor. It is the chocolate peanut butter cup by Keto Chow. I'll share the link afterwards, y'all. But I like it because I can play with it. I was in the kitchen and I was like, I want something sweet. So what I did was I ended up making some delicious peanut butter cookies with the Keto Chow. And then I was like, I started making this. I was like, I got fat bombs from this recipe and I have cookies from this recipe. So I'm going to share it with you. And I will share the link for the Keto Chow. They come in a lot of flavors. So I've made different flavors of the fat bombs. I've made different flavors of edible ice cream, like soft serve ice cream. I've made shakes. But you can play with whatever flavor you like of Keto Chow. And they have a huge selection. So, all right, I'm going to start, I think, with the fat bombs because they are the easiest. And basically, it's the first part of the recipe for the cookies. So you're going to see me repeat a little bit similar things twice in a row. So for this fat bomb, you're going to need a half a stick of butter, room temperature, so that's kind of soft, and you can whip it up. I'm going to use some all-natural creamy peanut butter. If you want crunchy, you can use crunchy. But make sure you look at the ingredients, guys, when you get peanut butter. This is peanuts, and that's it, and salt, 1% or less of salt. So just peanuts and a little bit of salt, and there's no added sugars or any bad funky oils. So this, I'm also going to be using some powdered erythritol for this because I want it to be nice and smooth. And so we've got butter, peanut butter, erythritol, a little dab of vanilla, and some Keto Chow. And so to start this off, y'all, I'm just going to whip my butter and my peanut butter together. I'm just going to use my hand mixer for this. I go ahead and I use these on it because it does kind of get a little bit thick. Not terribly, but I'm going to go straight into using the same batter or beaters to make my cookie dough. So no biggie because they're going to be the same kind of flavor. The fat bombs taste just like Reese's peanut butter cups. I'm going to call it a copycat Reese's peanut butter, if you will, because it is bomb. I'm also going to drizzle some chocolate across the top, and I'm using the People's Choice Company chocolate chips. They are delicious, and they are stevia sweetened, and I like that I get a big bag of these, 12 ounces of chocolate chips per bag. When you're baking and cooking all the time like I am, that comes in handy. So I'm going to put that there. I'm also going to turn on my other phone real quick so that if there's any comments, I can keep up with y'all before we get started. And I think I put the do not disturb on here, but I never know if I do or not. So let's see here. Keto for Real Life People. And I am live, yay. I'll turn myself down. How do you make your Keto Chow mix? What fat do you mix in? Well, for me, guys, okay, so before we start, I'll answer that question right off the get-go. The wonderful thing about Keto Chow meal replacements are that, first of all, it is a meal, okay? So don't think this is like one of those little shakes for an afternoon pick-me-up or something like that, because they are 100% nutritionally complete. They have your electrolytes in them, and you get to control the kind of fat and how much fat you need. So that's wonderful, because if you're trying to adjust your macros and you need to lower your fats or raise your fats, you just add some fat and some water. My fat of choice is melted butter. It's delicious, but I also like avocado oil. MCT oil. My least favorite, believe it or not, is the heavy cream. It just makes it a little too bloaty for me, a little too rich for me. But you can mix your fats as well. So do whatever you like flavor-wise and fit in your macros. So for instance, when I was doing the, I had a creamy one, like an eggnoggy style one. I've got some sample packs too. So for that one, when I was making ice cream with it, I used like 4 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. And I was making a big batch, obviously. So yeah, I'll mix it up a little bit. So you can do what you want to do. So guys, I'm gonna take and I'm gonna whip my butter up real quick. These are the fat bombs. They're fast, they're easy. The keto chow makes it all of the flavor off the chain, right? So you just make sure you're plugged in. Oh, I am plugged in. I guess I'm not tight plugged in. Ha, hold on. Let's just make sure that I do this. There we go. I have to make sure that I am plugged in all the way. So get it nice and fluffy. It's called creaming your butter. I don't know. Just gonna whip it. So that's about that. You just want to get it all soft and whipped up, all right? Now I'm going to take a half a cup of the peanut butter, and I'm going to add that, and then I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm just going to mix the two together and make sure it's blended very well. There we go. Just like so. And back at it. I'm creaming the fats together so that they are completely blended. Get some Sneed up on there. I don't want little butterflies. Now then, you can adjust the sweetness level you like. I like using about a half a cup of the powdered, oh, I almost grabbed the Lakanto. That's for the cookies. You know, sweeteners do make a difference. If I were to add that, it would be grainy because it wouldn't dissolve. But if I'm using this, the powdered erythritol, it'll be silky smooth. So I'm gonna get out another half a cup. So it's half cup butter, half cup peanut butter, half cup powdered erythritol. And you guys, I don't remember the number quite off the top of my head, but I think these are like 1 net carb per fat bomb, even with the sweetener. If you want more sweetener, add more sweetener. If you don't, then don't. And also, we're gonna put to this, we're gonna mix 1 scoop of keto chow peanut butter cup. Get that in there, plop. And to that, I'm gonna add just a half a teaspoon of vanilla. Like my vanilla. And then that's all you do to make these fat bombs. Are so scrumptious. Like, the first time I made this, I asked my daughter to taste it. She ate the whole bowl. Like, she just flat out, smooth out, ate the whole dang bowl. I was like, okay, I guess you like that. There we go. Now we're just gonna get that blended. You can always sift. I got a few lumps here I can see in my powdered erythritol, but I'll work it out. Make sure you scrape your sides. I'm going to go all the way up now. I just want to get nice and fluffy. That's how fast you can make these. And your kids are gonna want to lick the beaters. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, y'all, it's so delicious. I mean, off the chain. Now, at this point, you can do like I'm going to do, which is the quick, easy, fast way to make these. If you wanted to get fancy, if you've got an event or you have a, holiday or something like that, that you want to do a little bit more, you could definitely put these into a mold. And you could actually do a little chocolate and then put this in and then cover it. And you could actually, if you have the little Reese's peanut butter cup molds, you can make your own. I don't have those molds. So what I do that gives me the same effect is I just get a sheet pan out, and I'm going to move this out of my way. And I'm going to move this away a little bit. And then I'm going to put this right here. I just use a scooper. Okay, so I can get it like a dozen of these, maybe about 13. I think last time I got 13 of these. And I just did them as well. I have been taking them everywhere I go. I'm like, taste this, taste this. I took it to a girls' weekend, and they were like, oh my gosh, Nancy, those are so good. And they're like, where's the recipe at? I said, I haven't released it yet. So this is all you do. Pop them in the freezer or the fridge. Either or, it's up to you. And they will harden up just perfect. They're delicious frozen. They're delicious chilled. I would recommend that you do keep them chilled because they are very high fat content, y'all. They're very rich and decadent. And then once they get cold, then you can do a little bit of chocolate chips with a little bit of like a tablespoon of heavy cream. And you can melt it down and then just drizzle chocolate across the top. It's pretty. Looks like you put some effort into it, but that little bit of chocolate sets it off. I mean, it's so darn tasty. Now see, I'm at 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I'm gonna get at least easily 13 or 14 out of this. The amount of time that you spend whipping it up will actually create some volume, y'all. So, you could easily get 13 or 14 even. There's 13. I did orange flavored fat bombs with the orange keto chow, the dreamsicle, for my girls' weekend as well. Instead of peanut butter, I just used butter and mixed the orange into it, and I used the same ingredients, and then I still gave them a drizzle of chocolate. And let me tell you, that orange fat bomb was so light, but that little titch of chocolate on top, oh, set it off. There we go. I guess because I'm used to everybody coming by while I'm doing this and eating out of it, I've never gotten a complete full batch. This is kind of cool. There's nobody here to dip and taste. There we go. So 15, 16. There we go. And that's fat, guys. Look, that's how fast these are. They are so wonderful. I love the color of them. They're just fantastic. So I can pop these. I don't know if I have room in my fridge or my freezer. I'll make them. Watch out, falling blueberries. There we go. I'll stick that right there. It works. Okay, so that's how fast you can make the fat bombs. And I'm gonna keep my scoop. I'm not really worried about cross-contamination because basically I'm gonna do the same thing again for the cookie, but then I'm gonna add the rest of the cookie dough to it. I'm gonna take a look at your comments really quick. Let's see. What a nice surprise. Hey, Linda. I hope, Mary, I answered your question on the keto chow. Smoothies, more like shakes. So think about maybe, Slim Fast shakes, or you would drink a shake instead of a meal. So when you're on keto or low carb, either or, you'll just make up a shake, and you can make these up in advance, as many as you want. It'll last for 7 to 10 days in the refrigerator once you've made them up. And you would just drink that instead of a meal. It's really convenient if you're busy and on the go and you just want to drink that first meal, or if you're busy at night and you just want to drink that last meal. It really does help control where you're at. And you can do add-ins. I've never done add-ins in my shake because they're so darn delicious. All right, so let's get on to the cookie. I got a nice fresh clean bowl. Same principle, guys. When you're making peanut butter cookies, which is, by the way, my favorite cookie, it's always the same rule. You want equal parts of sweetener or sugar, keto, non-keto, you know, fats, and peanut butter. So half, half, half. So I'm gonna get another half a cup of the peanut butter, and this time I'm just gonna blend them together because I'm adding lupin flour to them and one Kanto. Oh, I almost did, Goode. I almost did. Let's hold off on that for just 1 minute. I'm gonna get this peanut butter going, and then I'm gonna add the sweetener because that counts as a wet style ingredient, and I want that sugar to get in there, that sweetener to get in there. So let's blend these together. Get it nice and high. And we're just gonna fluff it up right there, y'all. So that is blended really, really well. Now I'm gonna grab Lakanto sugar. Now here's the thing, guys. You know that I like to use allulose all the time for so many things, but when it comes to making cookies, I have found that the Lakanto is fantastic. Don't ask me about Swerve or anything like that because I don't use it. I don't care for that taste it gives me, but I do love Lakanto. It's an erythritol monk fruit blend. There we go. And for whatever reason, this will give your cookie that little crunch that you need, that little bit of snap, and you still kind of get a chewy interior. It's wonderful, wonderful for making cookies. I have tried it with allulose, and I end up with a cake-like cookie, which that is not my deal. So I'm going to take a half a cup of the Lakanto, and I'm going to mix it in there. Make sure I don't do anything I'm not supposed to do there. And give this a good blend as well. Oh, let's go ahead and add my egg. I'm going to add 1 egg to this. And my egg doesn't want to break. There we go. Out of the way. And blend it some more. I'm not staying connected here. There we go. Dang it. So, I'll be one of those that makes a huge mess. I keep coming unplugged from it. Because if I didn't have some sort of crisis while I'm cooking, hey, it wouldn't be me, right? You just want to make sure that that egg is very well incorporated. And there we go. And it already tastes so delicious. Okay, so to this, I've got an egg. I'm going to go ahead and put a teaspoon of my vanilla in there. I don't have to add salt to this because I'm using... This peanut butter has some salt, and I use salted butter. So if you're using an unsalted butter, go ahead and add a little pinch of it. I'm going to get that in there. I'm also going to add, again, 1 scoop of this. By the way, there's 21 meals in here. There's 21 scoops in this bag. So, I mean, I've got plenty for shakes and recipes, making cookies, whatever I want. And I'm going to put that in there. I'm also going to add 1/3 of a cup of lupin flour. Not a half a cup, guys. A half a cup of this equals 1 cup flour, but there's protein in this powder that I'm using. So I tried it, 1/3 cup, 1/2 cup, and I found 1/3 cup is just right. You just want 1/3 of this. If you put 1/2 cup, they're a little dry, so don't do that. And there we go with there. And then we're gonna use a little bit of baking powder and a little bit of baking soda. More so on the baking soda. For whatever reason, it works better for cookies than it does. Your baking powder is for cake. So I'm gonna do a whole teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And then we're gonna mix this up.
Can you be showing the recipes for both?
I will be getting those recipes posted on my website and posting them in the drop down below so that you will have them. So you can always reference back if you plan on making them tonight or tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have this up by tomorrow because my husband just came in unexpectedly. He's always on the road. So I'm gonna visit with him tonight. Okay, so I have all my sugars in there. I've got my lupin flour and my keto chow. If you wanted to add some peanuts to this, you could as a stir-in. If you wanted to make them some chocolate chips into this, you could. If you wanted to use the fat bombs and sandwich them, this was my daughter's idea. She's like, Mom, have you thought about making sandwiches? Peanut butter cookies with peanut butter filling, cream filling, that dipped in chocolate. I mean, you could go crazy. But this is a quick, fast recipe, y'all. And you just want to get it together. I'm going to give it a little nudge to work the dough off the batter. And that's that, y'all.
Is Keto Chow available in the UK?
I'm not sure if it is available in the UK. I know that some folks in Canada are getting it. You could kind of just go to Keto Chow. What is it? XYZ.xyz, and then you can see where it is available at. So there we go. Now I have the big cookie sheet on here. No, I'm putting the cookies on, but I've already got the fat bombs done. She's like, yes. This is what I like lives. You know, I could do. Well, I would love to do beautiful little videos with y'all. And but honestly, this is more fun, and I mean, you get to see it. You get to see it as I do it. So what you're gonna do here, and you can even use Sucrin Gold for these. I have done both. Not a huge difference, but you just want to use the little scoop. You don't have to worry about these getting really flat because they don't go very flat on their own. The peanut butter is heavy. So you just get these on the pan. Oh, here's a tip for you guys. If you're using lupin flour to make cookie dough, cake batter, or anything like that for baked goods, it smells good, it looks good, don't taste it. I'm gonna just tell you, lupin flour in the raw does not taste all that great. It has a bitterness to it. And I've seen reviews where people are like, I can't stand the bitterness. Well, you must have been eating it raw. Because once it bakes out, you cannot tell. You cannot taste it. It tastes like regular flour. But in its raw state, it is disgusting. Just saying. Again, you're seeing I'm getting a very good amount of cookies here. Again, the carbs on these, I'll have to look at it. Because I think I did do the macros, and I know they come down to very low. Because you're getting so many out of one batch. Get a little bit more in there. I'm so excited. And she's like, I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there. I'll do that last little bit up after the fact. All right, so right now, I'm gonna line these up a little prettier. So I got 15 cookies here, guys. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a fork. And this is just an old trick that we've always done with them. Sorry, I got the hiccups. And you kind of dip your fork into some sweetener. And you just do a little hash cross on them and flatten them down just a bit. And do this. If you want, I know I just dipped it into my container and I just see that I got some peanut butter dough in there. So put some to the side if you want. If not, I'll fish mine out. Just because it's live. But they are pretty. And you're going to want to bake these for about 15 to 18 minutes at 350 degrees in your oven. You can test them if you like a little softer cookie. You know, check them at 15 minutes. Is it 15? It's not 15 to 18. I'm sorry, y'all, 12 minutes. Good Lord, I almost had you burn the cookies. There's another wonderful plan I had, was another recipe. So about 12 minutes is where I like mine.
Okay, so I'm not sure how you're pronouncing the flour. I spelt it for her, but do you like it over almond flour and why?
Okay, so I love it. I adore it. I do use almond flour occasionally. Almond flour, after prolonged use for me, I noticed that I was inflamed after eating it, and I would swell up and be a little achy in my joints. I love lupin flour because it doesn't do that. Health first, y'all. Secondly, it has capabilities and bakes more like a traditional flour than almond flour ever could. So I mean, when I'm making waffles, they're smooth and they're light and they're fluffy. Cookies, pies, miracle dough, pizza crust, you name it. I'm all about the lupin, L-U-P-I-N, flour. I wouldn't go back. And I use, let me show you what it looks like, y'all. This company sells that rather quickly, and I will share a link afterwards. I'll share links for Keto Chow, for the chocolate chips, and for the lupin flour. I buy 3 bags. I get 3 bags at a time. You get them on Amazon. It's $29.95, but I like it because they're packaged in 1-pound packages individually. So, and they have a very long shelf life. Like, these are good until 2024. But if you feel like it's going to take you a while to get through it, you can definitely put this in your freezer and just keep it even longer. So I like it, and it's individually wrapped in 1-pound packages. All right, guys, I'm going to set my handy dandy timer right here, which I have a custom setting for 12 minutes. There we go, in the oven. I'm going to bend it. All right, in the meantime, I'm going to check on these really quick, and they're already done. All right, so these are already set up. A little soft in the middle. Definitely good. You want some?
I'm over here hiding.
That's my daughter over here. Y'all know Elizabeth. So I'm gonna set those back in there. I'm glad you're here, daughter, because I need you for a second. You could be my...
Are you gonna make ganache?
I'm just gonna make just a titch to kind of drizzle across. So what I'm gonna do, and I'm not gonna measure per se, I'm just gonna add, I just want a little drizzle chocolate. So probably about 1/4 cup of chocolate chips. And to that, to keep them from burning, y'all, I'm gonna add just a little dab of cream. You just want just a splash, maybe like a tablespoon. I'll measure it just so I don't over pour. And into the microwave it goes for about 30 seconds. And this is where she comes in handy for me, because the microwave's way over there. Put that up. And they do store very, very well. So I'm going to use a spoon. I don't want a fork. Ah, that's a cute little to-go spoon.
I know, I brought it home.
You brought it from work, huh?
I did.
Okay. Is it bubbling? Good. There we go. So you just want your cream to start bubbling. Once you see your cream bubbling, just stop. It just looks a little milky now. But trust
Are carbs comparable to almond flour on the lupin flour?
Actually, they're better, I think. Lupin flour, for 1/4 cup, has 12 total carbohydrates per 1/4 cup. But it has 11 fiber, so it comes down to 1 net carb per quarter cup. I think with your almond flour, you're somewhere with 5 per tablespoon, like five carbs per 2 tablespoons, and then you get 5 carbs. So I mean, they're both up there in the high fiber, net carb thing. I just need a little bit more cream to soften this up, or maybe I'll just add a touch of that soft butter because it's warm and it'll be a little drizzly. Here's where people are like, okay, you're going off track. Yes, I kind of go off track a little bit. A little soft butter because any fat will re-harden. So I don't want to add too much cream to this because I want it to harden like that. So I will just stir that in there. And it'll thin it down just a little bit. Just a little. I've gotten so used to making my own ganache that I don't ever mess with chocolate chips, but I thought, why not? Because this is a lot more convenient, and I do need it to be just a little bit thinner. Just a titch. Or maybe I can do a dip on them. We'll see what I can get with them.
Can you exchange almond flour to lupin flour, 1 part to 1 part?
Okay, so lupin flour is 1/2 cup instead of whole cup. So a 1/2 cup of lupin flour equals 1 cup of almond flour or 1 cup of regular traditional wheat flour. So you'll use half the amount. It's a really good flour for blending too. So like you can mix it. So say if something called for 2 cups of almond flour, you could easily go 1 cup almond flour, 1/2 cup of lupin flour. It'll blend out beautifully. Do I have?
No.
So I was gonna drizzle, but my stuff's a little thick, and I don't want it to seize when you overcook it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give this a little dip. Oh my goodness, that was a great idea, Nancy. I love it. And then a little dip. Ha! Booyah, baby. Little dip. This will just set this off. That it's already so very peanut buttery.
It's like a peanut butter cup.
It is like a peanut butter cup. It's so good. And you can dip these. I mean, I could, these remind me of a candy called a Buckeye, I guess. They're like a maple.
I do not see People's Choice chocolate chips on Amazon. Where do you order them?
You can, Wholesome Provisions, and this is one of their offshoot companies. Like they have the People's Choice chocolate chips, but look under Wholesome Provision chocolate chips and see what you get there on your search. My fingers are getting,
Shauna Morales. Hi, Nikki.
Hello. Hello, Shauna Morales. By the way, if this is your first time, thank you, and thank you for tuning in to my just down-home style thingy bobber here. And if you haven't subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, get notified when we put up a new video or do a live. Oh, my fingers are so...
thank you so much for teaching, or thank you for teaching us so much. I've seen flour in Walmart. Have you tried that?
Be careful with the lupin flour at Walmart. The lupin flour at Walmart, if it says 100% lupin flour, go for it. But what we are finding is there is a brand being sold at Walmart that's blended with rice flour and some other tapioca starch, as well as lupin flour. And then they say lupin flour as if it's all on its own. I mean, I don't know why they get away with it, but they do. So just make sure wherever you get your lupin flour at, that you make sure it's 100% lupin. That would be great. Another reason I love my company, the one that I get my lupin flour from, is that I know it's non-GMO and that it's processed right here in the US of A. So
Shauna Morales said they gave her 43% off of the chocolate chips for ordering the lupin flour.
Oh, yeah, you can, that's right. They do a lot of deals. So if you're buying lupin flour and chocolate chips, go on Amazon because they do have a combo deal going on there. I forgot about that. So I just got all my stuff in. All right, so I'm gonna give this a little stir here again because I've kind of tiled it and I'm down to it and I don't want to get my fingers messy anymore. I'm over that. I'm so over that. And I'll dole out this last little bit here.
I'm so excited about these cookies.
Oh yeah, she's super excited.
Do they have to cool first?
The cookies, they do have to cool for a minute because they come out kind of soft. but they do firm up nicely. Would you get me out the cookie rack, the baker's rack?
Yeah.
There we go. I think I got this. I did just enough chocolate. I just got into it in a deep enough bowl. But I'm serious, y'all. Oh my goodness.
I'm wearing my pajamas.
She's wearing her pajamas. So there you go. Look, these are beautiful. I'm going to come around here so that you can see them. And there you go. You can see they're generous servings. They're very, 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 very rich, y'all. Again, this is one of my special recipes. I don't normally try to use expensive ingredients or specialty ingredients, but this is a product that I keep on hand, and I haven't been making them and taking them everywhere, and everybody's like, you've got to share it. So here we go. I'm sharing it. And anybody who makes it, I would love to catch your feedback. Just comment back on the video. You know, I made them. I liked them. I didn't care for them. Whatever it is, I want to get your feedback. That'd be awesome. All right, so these are out of the way. I'm going to pop them back in here. And we are getting down to the last few minutes, and I'm going to make sure that, I guess I can do a little bit of straightening up here. I did use some peanut butters today. I don't normally make the cookies and the fat bombs on the same day. Now I've done it 2 times. Last Friday, I was getting ready for my girlfriend's birthday weekend, and so I did fat bombs and cookies. Oh, she was like, I'll take the peanut butter, Mom. I take it. I'm going to wash that off. I made a mess of it. I'll just set it over there. So last weekend I made the chocolate fat bombs. I made the orange fat bombs. I made the peanut butter cookies. I even made a white cookie with their chocolate raspberry, or the raspberry cheesecake. Raspberry cheesecake.
If I use your link when you post the order, will that help you?
It surely will. It will. Anytime, because my Amazon affiliate links, I do get a little portion for every sale that happens if anybody clicks through my link. And I think it tracks for like 48 hours. So anything that you buy within 48 hours, I get a little kickback for. And it's very helpful.
Have you come up with a bread loaf recipe using the miracle flour that would be good for cinnamon rolls such without cheese?
Without cheese. Actually, no and yes. Let me tell you, yes and no. I am still working on it. I do have a video. Did I do this new video yet? It's called Keto. I took my almond flour nutritional yeast bread. I did modify it. I reduced the almond flour, and I kicked in the lupin flour as a replacement, left a little of both, and I did make it, and I did loaf it. Now, I didn't get one big loaf. I just made it into 2 loaves to see if it would work, and it did. So I'm still working on that.
What do you think of Carbulose flour?
Carbulose. Carbulose, if it's like Carb Quick, because I'm not as familiar with Carbulose, but I know with Carb Quick, I can't have it because it has vital wheat gluten. So you have to look at your ingredients. All of these can be low carb, but they don't necessarily mean keto. Now, for me, I'm cool with low carb. You just have to make your choice, y'all. If you're low carb and it fits your macros and you don't have any intolerance to gluten or anything, then, you make the choice at the end of the day. If you're 100% keto, then probably not.
Where do you get the orange flavoring?
I got mine on Amazon, and the orange flavoring. I had the orange keto chow flavor. It's called orange.
Dreamsicle.
No, it's not Dreamsicle, because that's an orange dream.
Something.
But, I do have orange flavoring that I get on Amazon. It's a big orange bottle of orange.
Can you use any protein powder if you do not have keto chow?
Good question. I don't know. Now, you have to stop and think. This has it has sweetener in it, so it's balanced. It has peanut butter in it. It's chocolate. It's got all of this stuff in it. So if you're looking, say for instance, you were to just go get a chocolate protein powder and put that in there, I think it would work. If you were to go and put a couple of tablespoons of peanut butter in there, I think it would work. So again, I haven't tried it, but I think it could be doable. Will it taste as good? I don't know. But kick everything up a notch, because if you're just using a chocolate peanut butter, like your own chocolate and peanut butter, like I just did, ooh, look at those pretty cookies. So there we go, guys. Let me show them to you. And there you go. Look. They are just right. I mean, they bake up beautifully. Just beautifully. So I'm going to give them a minute. I'm going to turn off my timer because my wrist is just going crazy. I'm going to just put them on a cooling rack. The minute they start cooling down, they get a nice little crunch on them. So, yeah, just slide them right off. She's like, I'm so excited.
Y'all, they taste like real peanut butter cookies. Like, they even have the texture of a real peanut butter cookie. I actually took them to a Bible study, and
come around here. You're just a voice.
I know. I didn't want to be on it.
Well, look how I am.
Hello. Anyways, I took them to a Bible study, and I had somebody taste them that's tried keto cookies before, and she was like, I couldn't tell the difference because normally keto cookies are disgusting.
There's so many cookies that have that weird cooling taste, or they're so smushy, like they're almost wet tasting. And I felt like I burnt myself. I think it was just freaking out in my head. So these don't do that, guys. They don't have that weird. Well, thanks.
I'm gonna let you burn
Thank
yourself.
you. I was like, yeah, I'm burning
She's got
myself.
short girl problems.
Yes, I am short.
Get in my belly. That's about how I do it. I'm telling y'all, these are
Her friend though took the whole thing of cookies.
Libby. Yeah, well,
She
it's okay.
did.
She wanted them.
It was cute.
I made her.
She's like, thank you. So let me get this pan because it's hot out of the way. We can just set those down right there. I took these, like I said, I also did, when I did the white cookies, they spread out. So I do know how to fix it. I just haven't done it yet because I'm going to nail those raspberry cheesecake cookies. Oh my God, they were delicious as well. Flavor was spot on, but they were like this big and super thin. But I made a batch of those last week too. Again, I was using keto chow just because I have different flavors of it. But it's an interesting point that you made about the protein powder, so it's something I'm going to have to look into. So if you were making a vanilla protein powder, I think you could do that. If you were using a chocolate protein powder, I think you could do that. I don't see why not. Okay. So aren't they beautiful? They just take a few minutes to cool down, guys. I'm going to get out a couple.
Where do I find your links?
I will put them in the drop down below. Here you go, Elizabeth. You want to try one of these?
Yeah, I was over there trying to help you.
Gotta do it.
I still think, because that's mostly butter, just like melts it like a frosting, you know?
Well, if you let these completely cool down and you were to take that before I put it in the fridge while it was still in creamy mode, I could definitely take a little scoop and put it on the back side of, oops, gotta let it cool.
Where do you find your links?
I will put my links in the drop down below. I said that, didn't I?
I don't know. I'm just helping.
Oh my gosh. So dang tasty, guys. Shauna says, I'm doing this tomorrow. Then I will wait to post before I order. Get in my belly. Any more questions?
I'm ruining this.
Yes. I think we've answered all the questions, y'all.
Yeah, I think we have.
I hope you enjoyed this. I know if I give you just a minute, these will cool down just rather quickly, and then I can show you the texture of them. I did a couple of these. Now, they're very filling. They're very high fiber. And a glass of almond milk, and I was like over the moon.
Cookies into the website? Yes, I'll write it down.
KetoForRealLifePeople.com. I'll say it. She's typing it in for y'all right now. She's responding as Keto for. Oh no, she's.
I'm responding as Elizabeth Boas.
Okay, so she's as Elizabeth Boas. She's got her phone right there. So she's popping in the answers for you, links for you for the website. They're still very, very hot. We'll break one open, just so that you can see it. And you can see that it is a nice actual, see how thick it is? Yes, 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 yes. These are delicious cookies.
I got my pants at Walmart. They're reindeer, and I'm pretty sure Mom got them for me, and
I did. I bought them. We have matching jammies, actually. Mine are pink and gray, and hers are gray and white. but we have matching. And they even came with a little beanie cap and matching fuzzy socks and a cute top. We've only worn them at the same time like once or twice because that's kind of weird. But they're just so comfortable. Mm. Don't you wish they could get in your belly?
I'm telling you.
Oh my God. All right, guys.
All right.
I gotta go write this recipe down and get it all in there. And then I'll link it up.
Those are good.
They're so good. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day and keep your eye out for the next great recipe.